Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. This is Natalie Stillwell with So Goes the Future. Today, I have Joyce Gimfil as my guest. We met online as part of my own health journey. I got in touch with her. I wanted to learn about utilizing, what we know about meridians and the latest biotechnologies and how we can support our bodies in healing through using these technologies on our meridian points. And so, Joyce, how did you get into this kind of health care?
Well, I'm a mom. I'm a mom of 7 children. And a big part of being a mom is dealing with aches and pains and tummy aches and fevers and stuff like that. And I've been researching health for, I would say, half my life. And, I was reading diet, nutrition, the usual stuff, oils, herbs. And I got into energy medicine where, I use frequencies and light and stuff. And then I stumbled on this book in the library that talked about the technology that combined several incredible modalities that included Chinese medicine, meridian theory, light therapy, antioxidant peptides into a usable home-based technology that was really easy to use. I found this book in the library about 5 years ago, and it opened up a whole world of acupuncture points, meridians, and I fell in love with that world. And then I started a group to teach people about it, and that group has grown to 37,000 people, practitioners sharing protocols on how to access the meridians with this technology. So that's my journey, and that's how I met Natalie. And so here we are.
Yes. I wanted to tell our viewers that you have a Malaysian Australian accent in case they were trying to figure it out. And it's nighttime where I am, and it's bright and early morning for you. Okay, so I would love to hear, what kind of health improvements did you see through starting to use, these light-based and antioxidant peptide technology, we'll call them AccuDots, on the meridian points with yourself and your family?
Okay, so before I go into that, if your audience is not familiar with meridians, maybe I'll explain a little bit more about that. So our bodies are not just biochemical machines with molecules hitting molecules, because that's what we normally, the mainstream medicine, we take drugs, we take pills, we take supplements, we eat certain foods because we know that they affect the body in a biochemical way in order to achieve a result. So you eat herbs like milk thistle to clear the liver, for example. But in our bodies are also an energetic machine, device, supercomputer. We have hardware. So what you see is hardware, the bones, the muscles, the tissues, the brain. This hardware that you see, but it's also run by software that you don't see. So energy around, inside, through us, running through the body, powers the body. In Chinese medicine, we call it qi. In Western schools of thought, we call them bioenergy, or the field of the body, a biofield. And it is possible to help the body run more efficiently if you can access this field of energy and the qi and the bioenergy that runs through the body. So 5,000 years ago, or 6,000 years ago, the Chinese sages were able to detect and study the patterns of energy that runs through the body, through the organs, the meridians, and they call it qi. And each organ is given a particular function that drives energy through the body. So your body has meridians that are 12 to 14 major meridians in the body, depending on who you talk to. And they function as, like electrical cables that carry energy through the body. So, for example, we have a kidney meridian, and they run through from the soles of your feet to up the insides of your legs, through the kidneys, and then through the trunk of the body. And this energy runs through the body in a certain way, in a sequence. And then, so the kidneys are called the water element organ in the body. And then the energy goes into the next element. For example, the water energy of the kidneys feed the wood energy of the liver. So liver has its own meridians. And it's very important to learn about how the meridians work, because once you understand meridian functions, you can actually know why you suffer certain symptoms. So let me talk about kidney meridians. The kidneys are like the batteries of the body. So the kidney organ in Chinese medicine is connected to the adrenals. And we know a lot of people in the modern world suffer from adrenal fatigue. Why? Because adrenals and the kidney, so they're the same, from the same system. Adrenal means before kidney. And when we're very stressed, the kidneys actually hold energy at the power batteries in the body. And when the kidney or adrenals are stressed, they can produce essence, which is hormones. It affects the gene, which is a constitutional energy gifted to you from your parents. And when you deplete your kidney energy, kidney yang, kidney yin is depleted, the water element cannot nourish the wood liver element. And then so the liver gets congested, you feel, so water, kidney cannot nourish the wood liver. Liver becomes stiff and rigid. So the wood becomes stiff and rigid. You gotta start getting aches and pains, because the liver is the general of qi in the body. It helps qi move. When qi gets stuck and the liver is congested because you have exhausted adrenals and kidneys, you start getting things like hay fever, allergies, chronic fatigue. You get histamine symptoms, hay fever, mast cell problems. Why? Because the liver is supposed to break down histamine, but liver is not happy. It can't break down histamine, so you get histamine overload. The kidney adrenals is supposed to produce adrenaline and cortisol. So cortisol breaks down histamine. It's our natural steroid in the body. It brings down inflammation. And the adrenaline keeps us energized. In our modern world, we are depleting our adrenal kidney function, our kidney yang, kidney yin. We are not nourishing our liver, and we are eating a lot of things like coffee and alcohol that irritates the liver, makes it angry. And the coffee also dehydrates the kidney. So we're very stressed, we're tired, we get aches and pains that don't heal. And is when you understand the relationship between the water element, the wood element, and all the fire and earth elements. For example, when wood is not happy, it tends to attack the earth, the spleen element. So spleen is stomach, governs digestion. People tend to lose the appetite when they're supposed to eat, or they get digestive problems. When you're stressed, you can't digest food. And the energy is supposed to go and nourish the earth element, the spleen and stomach, gets stolen by another element, so that you don't have the digestive fire to digest food. Your spleen and your stomach suffers from indigestion, because especially when you're stressed, the energy goes into your limbs for fight or flight mode, and the energy from it that's supposed to go in the trunk of the body to nourish and digest stops. So when you're stressed, you're getting ready to fight. It goes, the energy goes into your limbs, into your legs. You go run, it stops going in the middle to help digest food. So the earth element gets depleted, and people start getting, if women keep doing this, they'll find in their pregnancies when the spleen is deficient, they get things like prolapses, they get weak backs. Spleen deficiencies lead to weak lower back problems, and also tied to kidney deficiency, which also lead to back problems. You get varicose veins, you get incompetent cervix, you get blood, like menstrual flow is really heavy because the spleen is deficient. So when you understand the elements in Chinese medicine, you can predict where things can go, but it also means you can use acupuncture points to energize certain parts of the body that are like doorways to the meridians. And that's what got me so excited when I understood the importance of understanding acupuncture points. And I found this AcuDot technology that could help grab hold of that biofield information and amplify and reflect it back, for example, back into the kidneys to energize the kidneys so that they increase their chi, increase their bioenergy through the kidneys and energize them enough so that they could start producing adrenaline, cortisol. Or you could redirect the energy into the liver and tell the liver to make more glutathione to unblock stagnation in the liver or congestion. I was so excited. And this is what this AcuDot technology looks like. Little round stickers, so AcuDots. And all you need to do, for example, I've got some stuck on here that helps me bring down inflammation and calm down anxiety. And different ones raise different peptides. They raise youth peptides, stem cell peptides, antioxidant detoxifying peptides. Some of them bring down inflammation, some of them balance hormones, some of them access the hypothalamus that governs autonomic function in the body. So all the things that you're not aware of that happens by itself is governed by the hypothalamus. And some of these AcuDots help balance the hypothalamus so that when it's happy, all these autonomic functions start happening well. So for example, when your hypothalamus is imbalanced, you start craving food you are not supposed to crave. When you feel, when you're supposed to be full, you don't feel satiated because the hypothalamus is imbalanced. And it's often because of trauma is stored in the hypothalamus. And when you experience trauma, it can lead to addictions later on. So this is all an imbalanced hypothalamus. So some of these AcuDots can help send a signal to make the hypothalamus feel balanced and happy. And in doing so, help with cravings and addictions and withdrawals from foods and drugs. So I found this technology through a book in the library 5 years ago. And since then, I've poured myself into studying Chinese medicine and breaking it down to bite-sized pieces because it's actually quite involved to learn about Chinese medicine. People go to acupuncture school for 5 years to learn about it. And I teach them all in my protocols group, which you can access if you go to meridianpodcast.now.site. And Natalie's going to put this link up for you as well. And you'll be able to access these protocols to help with so many things. That as a mom of 7 children, one of my sons used to get croup all the time. So in Chinese medicine, when you get that wheezy feeling, coughs, this is a lung organ deficiency. So there's not enough energy or bioenergy or qi flowing in the lungs. And what I did was I used the AcuDots on the lung meridian points to infuse energy and send energy through the lungs. And when I do this, it does not progress into really severe croup. He just gets lethargic during the day. At night, he sleeps through the night. So he doesn't bother me. Every 10 minutes, he'll say, "Mommy, I can't sleep, I can't breathe, I can't get comfortable." As long as I put the AcuDots on him, on his lung points in the front, and maybe the bladder points in the back, you can get a full protocol again in the protocols group. He is functional. He gets energy through the lungs, so he can get a full breath in. He doesn't feel breathless. What they do is they send energy in a positive and negative polarity, so like an electrode. And what happens is that it tonifies the organs in between. So the lung points are like here under the collarbone, where the shoulders meet the clavicle. And you can actually do this with acupressure, but that requires you to keep stimulating it, multiple times a day, and it's inconvenient. So, and you can't really do it for a child, and they can't do it for themselves. So with the AcuDots, I just leave them on for 24 hours. It sends the signal into the body to increase bioenergy through that organ, because that organ That point is a doorway into that organ, helps you access the body's organs. And he gets better. He doesn't get worse. He doesn't, stay up all night. And as a mom, it's revolutionary because I used to rely on a lot of herbs and supplements, vitamin C, olive extract, essential oils, and I keep dosing up every, I'll be giving 2 doses of vitamin C every hour, give this, vitamin C up. But with these dots, once a day, I'll just patch him, I'll just dot him, put him on, and that's it. So they do so many things. Name a symptom, and there's a Chinese medicine reason for that symptom, and we can use these dots to go into the root, increase the bone energy to that area, and often you'll see relief. So that's why, I start this protocol script to help people understand how to use them with simple visual protocols that they can just look up and just empower themselves. Anyone, moms, busy people, children, even my children can do it themselves. They'll ask, Mommy, I don't feel very well. What do I do? What dot do I use? They go into my bag and just get one, and where I normally put it on, you just put it on yourself, and it just looks like a little sticker. So easy. Take them off, stick them on. That's it.
I love the protocols group. It's fascinating. People share their testimonies. Different types of practitioners are in the group, and they share testimonials about their patients who are, their bodies being so supported that they're able to get off of medications or different things that doctors are just a little bit baffled they're able to do. And it's really inspiring. And for those who maybe are skeptical about meridians, you may be at least familiar with how much our teeth can affect other parts of our health. I feel like that's become a lot more mainstream, this understanding, like certain teeth are connected to your heart and different parts of you. And so when you correct a problem with the tooth, you'll see the symptoms elsewhere in your body clear up. So I'd love to hear, what are some health issues that you've seen that people have had and they've tried these dots, and they have seen improvement in their health and relief from symptoms?
Okay, so I have a protocol called the gut healing protocol, and it uses 4 points on your abdomen to access the gut. And I've had people report to me that they've had severe colitis, really inflammation of the gut, and they may have constipation or diarrhea multiple times a day, that they can't function in a normal, in their normal life because they have to run to the toilet every hour. And using the gut healing protocol, it decreases inflammation while at the same time increase antioxidant peptides that increase and stimulate stem cell production, and bring down oxidative stress. After 14 days of doing this intensive protocol, they go to toilet and have like a normal bowel movement, or 1 or 2 instead of 14 times a day. It's 1 or 2. I've done interviews with people who have had mold poisoning. And there's a particular interview, once you get into the protocols group, you can ask Natalie to tag you. I interviewed Kim and Christine, her practitioners. So Kim suffered from mold poisoning so severely, she practiced total mold avoidance, spent $500,000 moving things or throwing things out, moving houses multiple times. And she would feel flare up every time she just had a tiny exposure. After 1 year of using a 5-element protocol with the dots, she can now, she doesn't suffer any more flares, and she doesn't need to practice total mold avoidance anymore. She can go out, eat a Big Mac without any repercussions, which is like revolutionary. So you can access these interviews. Once you're in the protocols group, just get Natalie to tag you. And yeah, that you can do a search for any symptoms, stress, anxiety, pain, hip pain, knee pain, back pain. So many people are sharing their stories in there. So yeah.
And I think a lot of moms maybe would be interested in what can be done for hormonal issues. There's so many different ones. People have PCOS, and we're just all out of whack these days. So can you tell us anything about hormonal protocols and results you've seen?
Yes, so there's a point on your leg that helps access the hormones in the hypothalamus that governs all the hormones. And yes, I do have a protocol for hot flushes and periods, migraines brought on by periods. And yeah, you can get a full visual of this point in your leg. It's going to help you access your hypothalamus and keep everything, your hormones happy and balanced. People with like really heavy flooding periods or irregular periods or painful periods can all find relief once you help access the hypothalamus, and also the spleen, the kidney, the liver, meridian are all tied to reproductive function. And often you'll find people with hormonal problems are going to have spleen deficiency, kidney deficiency, liver stagnation. And this point on the leg is called San Yin Jiao. And it's a miracle point because it helps with so many things, not just hormonal issues, because liver, kidney, and spleen deals with so many other things in our body. When you find this spot and you use Naki Dot on it, I think you'll be really surprised. And there's so many people out there sharing their stories in this group about how, they feel liberated from all their period pains. They might lose 1 or 2 days a month from work or school because, they've been totally debilitated from the pain from the periods. And this is not normal. A period for women actually is a huge signal for our health. And a normal period is supposed to be, not too heavy, not too light, regular, not painful, no headaches, no cramps. This is a normal period. Chinese medicine explains why this happens and how to correct it. And with the AcuDots, you can access the points in your body that's going to keep you happy through your hormones, through your hormone fluctuations. And yeah, it's so empowering because you can go into a group, see what people say, what they've done, and actually see a full visual protocol. So make sure you go to meridianpodcast.now.site in order to access these protocols, and Natalie will tag you. So yeah.
Perfect. And I've looked through the group. I'm in there. I've seen 80-something-year-olds who've had strokes who were able to bounce back so much more than doctors would have ever imagined through the support of this technology on different meridian points. People who have type 2 diabetes that's very severe, who've been able to manage it with way less medications, and lots of people with sleep and anxiety issues too. I know those are plaguing so many of us. And I've only been using the patches for a few weeks. I've been using the one that stimulates, your stem cells. And I've just been using it under my belly button. I have noticed my skin is starting to look younger, especially like the back of my hands. I guess because you look at them all the time, but I'm like, whoa, I look younger. I've also noticed—
You're gorgeous anyway.
Oh, thank you. I have a lot of spider veins on one of my thighs, and it's like they're dissolving. It's crazy. They're almost gone. I'll show some before and after pictures once like I've used it a little longer to see what the final result will be. But those are some things I've noticed just starting out so far. Do you have any thoughts on that? Like the stem cell?
The stem cell one is very special, and what it does, it tells the body to raise a peptide, increases collagen integrity. So when you have varicose veins, these tissues are sagging, it's not elastic anymore. Your collagens so the collagen is made by the liver, and often when the liver is toxic, it cannot make the proper form of collagen. So collagen may be bonded to a toxin or to glucose molecule, which makes it brittle. So when you build a house with the raw materials, it falls apart. The liver may not be making the correct form of collagen, and that's why you see that you call them liver spots, right? Because the liver's not making the correct form of collagen, and things sad because they're not elastic. And with this stem cell peptide, it tells the body to make new and the correct form of collagen, and that's why you'll see younger looking skin and your varicose veins tightening up. And I also have a spider vein protocol uh, for those who do want to target this. So in Chinese medicine, again, it's tied to spleen qi deficiency and kidney deficiency. And with the Aikido technology and using them on specific points on the spleen and kidney meridians, you can find that things start lifting up because the spleen organ provides a lifting energy in Chinese medicine. So this may sound very nebulous concept, but the spleen helps create blood and cleans the blood, and the spleen also helps with glucose metabolism. When the spleen is not happy, the glucose and sugars in your blood go out of control. This affects the liver, and the liver, when it makes collagen that is bonded to glucose.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a glycated form of collagen that is brittle and inelastic. So that's why in Chinese medicine they may call it spleen deficiency. But when you talk about Western biomedical terms, this is the mechanism underlying how the spleen provides the lifting energy and gives tissues integrity. And when you correct the spleen deficiency, you will find that when the spleen and liver are making collagen correctly with clean blood and clean collagen, things start to improve and lift up.
This makes perfect sense because I'm seeing the liver spots lightening on my hands. And every time I've done like other modalities where they do, I don't know if you would call it biofeedback, but where they like scan you, my spleen has always flagged as a problem area. So that's really interesting that I'm getting those results. This is fantastic, Joyce. I will absolutely link the protocol group for those of you who want to jump in there and learn more. And then is there any last words you would like to say to anyone?
Well, I would say, jump in, go in a group, do a search, and then learn as much as you can. This group is an amazing group with lots of information, and it gives you the power back. It empowers you so that you have the ability to know what to do. So often we're totally reliant on somebody else. Go to a practitioner, going to a doctor, going to somebody else. This group is full of protocols used in clinics worldwide, but you can do them at home safely with no side effects, because all they do is they grab hold of your bioenergy and then sends it back into your body so that your body does the work. And you can't imagine how empowering that is and how safe you feel, because you're in your home, you're not traveling, especially in this COVID situation where no one's able to travel anywhere. You can stay home and get the collective wisdom of 37,000 people and practitioners sharing their wisdom and the protocols that they've used successfully in clinics. So I encourage you to go and visit the group. And again, meridianpodcast.now.site.
Perfect. Thank you so much for making time to share this with us.
Thank you so much, Natalie. It's been an honor.